Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Megan and I are taking the week off for a little summer break. So instead of a new episode, today we're throwing it back to one of our most popular and practical episodes, 5 steps to booking your first 5K elopement. If you're dreaming of charging premium prices but not sure how to make that leap, this episode breaks it down in a super actionable way. Whether you're new to elopements or you've been shooting for a while and feel stuck undercharging, this one's packed with the exact mindset shifts and steps you need to start attracting high-value couples and confidently charge what you're worth. So without further ado, let's jump back into episode 94, 5 steps to booking your first 5K elopement.
Welcome to Stoked, the podcast that helps adventure elopement photographers hit 6 figures and beyond in their businesses without hustling on social media. I'm your host, Megan McPhail, a former burnt-out emergency veterinarian that quit my hard-earned career to become an elopement photographer. Now I'm living a life I absolutely love, full of travel, adventure, and financial abundance, and I am hell-bent on helping you do the same. Are you ready to start booking out your calendar with dream couples in breathtaking locations and feeling genuinely stoked about your elopement photography business, life, and bank account? Then let's dive into this week's episode. Hey, it's your host, Megan McPhail.
And your co-host, Todd Reedy.
Does booking your first 5K elopement feel impossible? What if I told you it's totally doable? And in fact, photographers I work with have been doing it faster than I was able to do it on my own, and they're doing it pretty much every day. So today I'm going to go over 5 steps to help you book your first 5K elopement. But first, I wanted to talk about our trip because Todd and I just got back from 2 weeks in Peru, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
We went to Machu Picchu, we hung out in Cusco and the Sacred Valley, and we also did some hikes. And one of the hikes that we did was to Lake Humante. And we could have done it all on our own, and this story is meant to be inspirational, so hang with me. We could have done it all on our own. We could have found transportation to get us to the trailhead and figured out where the trailhead even was and hike up on our own and bring our own snacks and buy some trekking poles to bring with us and stuff like that. Like, we could have done it all on our own and kind of fumbled our way through it. But instead, we hired a guide. And that guide, when I asked him when we should leave our hotel, he told me 4 a.m. because he wanted us to be the first people up at this lake. And this lake is like this beautiful turquoise lake up in the Andes Mountains. And there's a glacier right there. And it has a lot of spiritual stuff to it, which I didn't know. So I was like, yeah, let's go at 4 a.m. And there's no way we would have left at 4 a.m. unless this guy was waiting for us outside. I would have hit snooze a million times. Can you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Megan's not getting out of bed at 4 a.m. unless she's shooting an elopement.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even getting out of bed at 9 most days. So he was outside at 4 a.m. in his car. It was kind of like a big SUV, and we each had our own seat with a blanket, and it reclined, and we had a pillow, and we basically slept on the way to this trailhead, which was 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And then we had breakfast before we went to the actual trailhead, kind of halfway. We stopped at this place where we had breakfast and cocoa tea and some just really yummy omelets and stuff like that. And then we continued on, and we were the first people in the parking lot. And we started walking up, and he helped us get some horses because the hike was really steep, and I just wanted to chill. I love hiking, but I love riding horses up a mountain even more. So he got us some horses. And so we just coasted up this really steep trail that these horses were very used to doing. And he took us straight to the lake after that. It was kind of confusing because the trails kind of broke off into multiple places. So he took us on the easiest part. At this time, we're at over 14,000 feet above sea level. So I was not trying to fumble my way through which trail to go on. And we got to the lake, and we were the first people there. And this is a really popular hike and really popular lake. Didn't he say 2,000 people visited a day or something?
Yeah, he said during kind of the peak summer dry season, it was 2,000 people a day. And then when we were there during the rainy season, he said about 1,000 per day.
Yeah, so of those 1,000, we were the first people. We had the lake all to ourselves. Now, unfortunately, the weather was horrible and we didn't get to see much of the lake because we were basically in one big cloud, but the experience was still freaking awesome. And once we hiked back down, he took pictures of us, which was awesome because we never get pictures of the two of us together unless they're selfies. So he took pictures of us. And then we went out to another lunch, and it was just overall a super awesome experience. He shared a lot of information about the Incan Empire and his ancestors and Peru. We learned a lot, and it was totally worth the extra expense to do it as a guided tour instead of trying to figure it out all on our own.
Yeah, like sometimes we like figuring out things on our own, but this whole trip was like a little over 2 weeks. And so we had a lot of different activities planned, and like we just ran out of time to do all of the work ourselves. You guys all know that we love to outsource. And so that was an easy one to outsource because we knew it was going to be a challenge to plan, and it ended up being great.
Yeah. And so I share this story with you guys because as an educator, I want you to think, do you want to continue fumbling your way through your business? Or do you want somebody to help you with it and to guide you through it? And I am going to get into this more at the end of the podcast where I have some really fun bonuses for you guys. So I want you to listen to the end. But for now, I'm going to go into the 5 steps. But I want you to think about that story and which camp you are in.
Yeah, Megan, let's get into these 5 steps.
So these 5 steps I've been teaching for years now. They are pretty much tested and proven and solid. But I did name them some fun things for this podcast episode. So step 1 is align. Step 2 is attract. Step 3 is convert. Step 4 is funnel. And step 5 is plan. I wanted to make it simple. So it's align, attract, convert, funnel, plan. Easy peasy, right? So I'm going to get into all of those. So the first one is align. And this is really where you set the foundation for your business as an elopement photographer. And when you hear like the foundations of business, you might think of things like legalities and taxes and LLCs and stuff like that. I want this to be more about you as the foundation of your business and defining your vision for what you want out of your life and your business, what your values are, what your strengths are as a photographer and business owner and a person, what your weaknesses are, what gives you energy, what takes your energy away, and really shifting your mindset to believe that you're more than capable of charging $5,000 for an elopement and providing an amazing experience for somebody, and kind of aligning yourself with that idea. A lot of people listening right now and who follow me, and when I tell them like you should be booking at minimum 5K elopements, they think I'm nuts. 5K seems like a lot of money. But when we run the numbers, you can tell them, Todd.
I mean, the numbers don't lie. I'm a data guy. And so we've had lots of students. We've done it with our businesses. We've done it with Megan's photo business. We've done it with my video business. We've done it with the coaching businesses. And running businesses is very expensive. And if you're not charging enough, you're going to get burnt out. I mean, there's no getting around that. So
you got to charge 5K to be profitable.
Yeah. And
the numbers don't lie.
It is scary. Like if you're in the camp, and I definitely was when I started my video business, like, you know, doing the free one, doing the couple for a couple $100, charging thousands of dollars seems like years down the road, but it's really not. It doesn't have to be. Mm-hmm. And Megan will go into all these things, I'm sure, but like you are worth it. Like your time, your expertise, your skills, your knowledge, your gear, that's all worth charging money for.
Right.
So do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you're going to overbook yourself to be able to profit as a photographer if you're charging less than 5K. So really kind of identifying what sets you apart as a person and as a photographer and what you want your life and your business to look like. These are the foundations that I really want you to focus on and start thinking that you're worth these 5K prices. You don't necessarily need to raise your price to 5K tomorrow, but you can create a strategy, which I'm going to share with you, and do it over time. So start setting goals to start upping your prices and get to that 5K thing. And all the people who are giving you a hard time about your prices, just remember that those are not your ideal couples. And people who are broke or on a budget or are just, you know, miserable human beings really like to be loud about their opinions on how photographers charge too much, but don't listen to them, because there are plenty of couples out there that want to invest in an elopement experience, and they're out there, and you got to start talking to them. So that brings us to step 2, which is attract, which is to get crystal clear on who your ideal couple is and attract that couple. And this couple is somebody who's going to charge you $5,000. So you got to craft a message that speaks directly to them. And you also have to think of like, not only who this couple is, but what photos do they want to see? Because if they're going to invest a lot of money into you, they want to know what they're getting. So making sure that you have those photos and that you have the language that resonates with these couples that's willing to invest $5,000, like that's really, really, really important. So if you have a bunch of weddings and a bunch of newborns and a bunch of maternity shoots and stuff like that, that's not going to resonate with a couple that wants to invest in their elopement experience. So really put yourself in their shoes and think, what do they want to see and what do they want to hear from me?
And when you say show them the photos, like show them an elopement or show them like a styled shoot at the location or locations or the city, the area, show them what they should expect.
Yeah, they want to know what they're getting when they invest. And a lot of times they want to see actual photos from the location. Also think of the location where you want to shoot these couples and where you want to book this $5,000 elopement. You can't just say everywhere. You got to pick a location and you got to commit to that location. Step number 3 is convert, which is about turning your website into basically your hardest working salesperson. So I want your website to basically sell your services for you and build trust and have a couple that wants to invest in their elopement see your website and be like, wow, this is the photographer for me. So that website basically has to have the images, it has to have the messaging, and it has to have your personality on there. So you're going to take stuff from step 1, where you're kind of identifying who you are and what you want and what sets you apart and what your strengths are. You're going to include that in your website copy. Even though, I mean, I've been doing this for years now, and I help people book $5,000 elopements in the same places, but they're attracting different dream couples to book them because they're different people and they aren't afraid to show their quirks and their eccentricities and their favorite music and foods and just anything that could possibly have somebody relate to you. You want that stuff on your website.
And it may sound silly if you're like coming from a corporate job or even like a more like structured wedding photography business where we're kind of programmed to be kind of just vanilla robots where we don't really want to break the mold or like show anything.
You want to be professional.
Yeah. So it may seem counterintuitive to like put on your website that you love Taco Bell. Like I love Taco Bell and I put that on the website, right? Because it's my comfort food. And I mean, we can go on all day about the different things that make Megan and I goofy and dorks and the people we are, but that's the stuff that we show, and those are the clients that we get. And then that's why we have so much fun on our elopement days.
Yeah.
Is because we've connected with couples on weird, random things that just make us click.
Yeah. So you want to be able to like connect with people through your website. You want to be able to show them that you have knowledge about eloping in this place. You want to show them that you give them an experience. So really turning your website into a sales machine is best, because then when you do book people, they're ready to go. You've already built trust through your website. You have social proof on there. You have beautiful images. You talk about eloping on there, and you build value in not only what you do, but who you are. That's super important, which then goes right into step 4, funnel, which is you funneling people to your website. So we do that in the short term through Google Ads. In the long term, we do that through SEO and Pinterest and sometimes still Google Ads. I know a lot of people who just never turn them off. So you want people to get to your website. And because it's your salesperson, it's your sales machine. So funneling people to your website, as many people as possible, so that they can connect with you or even decide you're not the person for them because they hate Taco Bell. You know, like you want to attract the right people and repel the wrong people. So funneling people to your website is super important. And that's how you start getting inquiries and bookings. And then understanding your whole sales funnel from there and like the conversion rates that you get through each step of getting people to your website, and then the number of inquiries you get, and then the number of calls that you book with couples, and then the number of bookings you get. Those are all important numbers to track over time and to improve the conversion rates over time. So not only are you funneling people into your website, but you're also evaluating your funnel from website to bookings.
And if you're a new listener and you haven't heard us go on and on about sales funnels and all these numbers and tracking your metrics, you should be doing that, because you can learn a lot from the numbers and the data.
Numbers just don't lie.
Yeah. Yeah. And they will help you make decisions and kind of point your ship in the right direction. But if you don't know your numbers, then you're kind of just shooting in the dark.
Yeah, you're navigating your ship blind. If you don't know your metrics and you're blaming the economy and you're blaming saturated markets and you're blaming all the things and you're complaining on Threads and Facebook and Instagram, those are all people who don't know their numbers and don't have real control over their business. So if you understand your sales funnel, you do have control.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're funneling people to your website, you're keeping track of your numbers, you're getting inquiries, and you're getting freaking bookings, and you booked your 5K elopement. Then it's all about planning, or step 5, plan, delivering an incredible elopement experience. You can book a 5K elopement before you've ever even shot an elopement before, which you probably think is crazy, but I have students do it all the time. And then you're probably like, well, I can't do that because I don't even know what I'm doing and I don't know how to plan an elopement. And like, what do you even do all day? Because a 5K elopement is like an 8 to 12 hour elopement. This is not a 2-hour thing, right? So this is an all day, super awesome elopement with a really cool couple that you've connected with. And so many people are like, I don't know how to plan an elopement. I don't know what to do all day, so I'm not even going to try. But step 5, plan, is all about delivering an amazing elopement experience. So really it's about communicating with your couple on what they want. So it's really a two-way street. So a lot of people think that they have to plan an elopement kind of like in a bubble without any input, but it's really all about getting the right input from your couples. So I use a questionnaire. I give it to all of my photographers that I work with that is pretty in-depth. We always tell people to like make it fun, make it like a date day or something, because otherwise it seems like a lot of questions to answer. But I use all those questions and all those answers to really plan the right locations, the right timing for everything, the right recommendations. Like I want to be able to get on a Zoom call with my couples after going over the questionnaire and be like, this is the perfect day for you. So being able to design timelines and handling logistics and stuff like that is all part of step 5. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. See you later. Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of Stoked. If you enjoyed the show and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend. If you're looking for more inspiring elopement photography content, check us out on Instagram at Megan McPhail. And if you'd like to hear more about my business coaching and how I can personally help you hit 6 figures as an elopement photographer, then check out my website at www.meganmcphail.com.